Oh my god, you guys suck.
Get out.
What?
I said get out!
Guys, we lost the game. Our season is over.
Oh my god, shut up, Toronto. No one cares.
Yeah, at least y'all have a chance at Lafreniere when you lose in the first round, unlike us.
Yeah, must be nice.
Yeah, Toronto, look at Detroit. Guys, can you get out? I have a video to make.
Hey there, everybody. Ruxton Kelly here with Stars Fan Reaction. You having a good day? You ready for some hockey? The Stars lose 5-3 to the Vegas Golden Knights. You know, coming into this game, I'm going to be quite honest, I didn't really have any expectations for the Stars whatsoever. I really don't have any expectations for the Stars in these playoffs whatsoever. If I'm being completely honest, I really don't. Which is why when they came out in the first period kind of sluggish, I really wasn't too surprised at all. But then they had an amazing second period and they turned everything around and they looked like Stanley Cup contenders. And then they collapsed like a Jenga shack in the third period. This was a very weird, very up and down, a very painful Stars game. But let's talk about it. Now, before I get really into the game, I want to touch on what happened before the game. And that was that Tyler Seguin and Jamie Dickinson, they actually knelt for the national anthem. And honestly, good for them. Good on them. Because they are probably going to draw a lot of criticism for doing that. And they don't care. I was about to say they stood up for what they believe in, but they knelt for what they believe in, and that is social justice and what's going on right now. So good for them for doing that. Good on them. You know, I have to admit, towards the end of the second period, I was starting to think, maybe I went a little bit too hard on these guys. Maybe I went a little bit too hard on the team, because they were playing like gods. It was amazing. I was starting to think, you know what, maybe I went a little bit too hard on Bonus. You know, he's really putting together a really nice game. I mean, the team is playing great, aren't they? Oh boy, was I wrong. So the game starts, and I'm literally trying to write down the line combinations for the two teams in my notebook, and I'm trying to get my notes set up, and literally as I'm doing this, the Knights score the first goal. Chandler Stephenson, he goes into the zone, and it's like I think it was a 2-on-1, I don't remember, or it was a 1-on-2, and can't really remember, but he's going up against Klingberg, and Klingberg is cheating to Chandler's right side, even though he's a left-hand shooter, and he just puts it right through Bishop's 5-hole. I love Bishop. I have his jersey on. You've got to make that save, man. You've got to make that save. That is like a routine 5-hole save, especially for him. And the Stars went down 1-0. After that happened, I'm thinking, oh, here we go again. Now, the one thing that I did notice was that the forecheck in the first period, it was a little bit better. They were forechecking a little bit harder, but that was only for about the first 5 minutes or so. After that, they were playing chip and chase hockey again. They were getting some shots, but they weren't getting any quality scoring opportunities. They were not getting any good looks, and they would chip it in and they would get beat to pucks. They were not forechecking hard enough, and the Knights would just play keep away with them, and it was awful. They could not set up anything in the offensive zone to save their lives. They could not exit their defensive zone to save their lives. It was miserable to watch, and I was like, oh great, this is the same team that we watched get, shut out by Nashville. And in about the last 5 minutes of the first period, they started to get a lot more aggressive in their offensive zone. They started to generate a lot better chances. The penalty killing was great. And I started to think, as the first period came to close, okay, all right, if they generate better chances in the next period, they have a chance. The penalty kill is looking great, even though they took a couple of questionable penalties. That penalty that Perry took when he slashed, I don't remember who it was, but he slashed one of the Knights very egregiously. That was a stupid penalty, and I made a note of that. That cannot happen. But they're penalty killing really well, and I knew that if they just turned it up, if they got better looks, they would have a shot. They had a real chance to win. At the end of the first period, they were out hitting them, they were out shooting them, they were killing them in the faceoff dot, but the one big thing that worried me was that they were getting killed in takeaways. They're 7-4 in turnovers, and I knew that that was one of the symptoms of their chip and chase style, and I knew that that could not continue. The second period starts, and they're still struggling to hold the line a little bit, but they are getting better looks. They are getting better scoring chances, and it makes me happy because I'm like, okay, this is what we need. This is what we really need right here. Joe Pavelski throws in front. Let's go! So I'm sitting there trying to write down all the stats on that goal, and oh my god, they did it again! Jamie Alexiak scores from the high slot, and just like that, the Stars have the lead. Oh my god, could they actually do it? Could they win a game? Oh my god, it could actually happen. And the power play is looking amazing. They're holding the line, they're moving around the perimeter, and they get a shot, and Perry tips it home. It is 3-1 Dallas. But then they get extremely conservative to end the second period. Okay, this isn't going to be an issue as long as we play strong defensive hockey in the third period. Let's go. In the first 10 minutes of the third period, the Stars are being even more offensively conservative than they were at the end of the second period, and they're spending the entire time in the Knights' offensive zone. Not to mention, they're getting absolutely no scoring chances. About 10 minutes into the third period, Mark Stone goes right around Andrei Sekera and puts it past Bishop. It was a beautiful shot and cuts the lead to 1. And in my head, I'm thinking, oh no, here we go. About a minute and a half later, the Stars actually got a look in their offensive zone, and Esa Lindell takes a shot and a stick breaks. And the Knights get on 2-on-1. And Riley Smith tries to make a pass over, but it deflects off of Klingberg. Unfortunately, it deflected right to Nate Schmidt's stick, and he puts one past Bishop and ties the game up. At this point, I kind of knew that we were screwed because I looked at the bench and everyone looked deflated, from the coaching staff to the fourth line. Everyone there just looked absolutely deflated. And that's one of the problems, that when this team gets down, they really don't know how to claw back. They just kind of give up, and it's going to be an issue down the road. About 3 minutes later, the Knights have a rush, and the Stars have several chances to get the puck and clear it down, but they can't. And William Carrier, he cuts in front of Bishop. He actually bumps into him, and then he puts it in between his legs through Bishop, and it's a goal. Oh, wait, no, it's a no goal. And then the call was overturned 4-3 Knights. It was at this point that the Stars knew they needed to get it together offensively. They tried hard in the offensive zone. They got some good looks, but they couldn't quite drive home the equalizer. William Karlsson drives home the empty netter, and the Stars lose 5-3. I mean, I don't know what to say about this team, to be honest. I didn't go into this game with any real expectations. I thought they were going to lose based on how they were playing, and I really thought that was going to happen after they went down 1-0 in the first period. I was like, oh, here we go again. But then they had this amazing second period, and they gave me so much hope. It was just like all the optimism I had in January, February filled back into me. And then they drained it all again in that third period. That was one of the worst periods, if not the worst period I've seen them play all season. The second period might have been the best period I've seen them play all season, but that third period was god awful. Oh my lord. When that team got the lead, when the Stars got the lead, they got way too conservative and they got way too complacent when they got the lead. And it showed during the third period because they got kicked up and down the ice for 20 minutes repeatedly until they took the L. If this team abandons the dump and chase like they did in the second period, then they have a legitimate shot on the offensive side. But they have to be more feisty when they get a lead. They can't just get all complacent like they did. I mean, I want to be optimistic about the rest of the playoffs, but that was such an ugly collapse. It honestly rivals the Knights' collapse from last year. And the only difference was that the Stars didn't take a single penalty throughout that whole ordeal. This team has real potential going to these playoffs, but they have to abandon chip and chase hockey, they have to become more disciplined, and they have got to learn from this experience because they cannot get complacent the next time they get a lead. Anyways, that is it for me tonight. Thank you very much for watching. Please click like if you like this video. Click subscribe. Leave a comment if you have any suggestions or if you have any questions for me for the next video. And hopefully the Stars can avoid those third period collapses from here on out. Peace, guys.